So, here's the thing that guys got to understand, about this new generation. Um, the internet and social media, it really, really hurt the game for a lot of these young guys coming up because back in the day, it was so much easier to have attraction. And I'm gonna really just focus on two main things, and I'll probably do a part two to this, but this is very big because I don't think anyone's ever brought this up. And if they have, I'm sure it's a million people in the damn, I mean, it's really billions of people in the world. So I'm sure somebody said something, but this is very powerful in the game. Many people don't understand this. There was more mystery embedded in reality back in the day. And what I mean is there weren't cell phones. So you'd hang out with your girl, you know what I mean, or whatever girl you're interested in, and then you would go to work, right? During work, your girl can't text you. During work, you're not talking. You know what I mean. I'm gonna see you at 6 p.m. when I come back. Like let's say it's 1989, and you just walk and you with your girl and you about to go to work. It's like, all right, babe, I'm about to go to work. If you need anything, call the job and let me know. You know what I mean? But that was it. And you be doing your thing and then you don't see her until you get home. You know what I mean? Now you could FaceTime, you know what I mean? Now you could text. So the person's still with you the whole day. And what people got to understand is space and mystery is a huge part of attraction. You give enough space and time for someone to miss you. And then when you come back, that attraction is so high, right? Now, guys are in relationships and their girls calling them every second, tracking them down, looking at, you could look at text messages. Like back in the day, let's keep it real. Like a lot of our pops, when they say pops was a Rolling Stone or whatever, your grandpa or whatever, it's because, they be, oh yeah, I'm about to go to Ohio to do something with work or to be with my friend. And then they gone for a week and they come back. The only conversations they having with their girl is when they get touchdown, find a payphone, talk real quick, or when maybe there's a phone in the place, and then they see him when they come back. They just knock on the door, hey babe, and she didn't know what he was doing. Back then there wasn't no text threads for her to find out who's Vanessa, who's Jennifer. That wasn't going on. So it was always a mystery embedded, and obviously that can increase the chances to for her to not know what's going on. But a lot of the time, once again, that made relationships functional because you know what I mean? It kept people with a certain level of fantasy. You know what I mean? Right now, the game is so real. Everybody's dealing with reality very heavy. And me personally, I'm cool with reality. You know what I mean? Like I like to study the facts and know the truth. But at the same time, there's always a little bit of fantasy in attraction. That's why women wear makeup and guys dress up and get shape ups. You don't see that guy going out to the club with bushy, everything looking crazy and he got, random stuff in his hair that he got to pull out and pick out. Like, nah, we all go out and bring our best. And in relationships back in the day, it left more room for you to show up and bring your best because there was space. You know what I mean? Especially way back in the day where there were no phones. Because you got to remember, phones just came in the last 100 years or so. You know what I mean? So before phones, you just had to say, all right, I'm going to meet you at that shop at 6 o'clock. And you just hope they got there. You know what I'm saying? You just making your moves and it's 6. And it's like, all right, I got to help him get there. It might be 6:15. The girl waiting like, oh, is he okay? Is he there? And that whole time while she's worried, all this attraction is building up. She just wants to make sure he's okay. Then he shows up on his horse and shit. It's like, sorry, baby, the horse was a little tired. And then boom, she's like, oh, it's okay. I'm just happy you're okay. And now y'all just in love. Cause you ain't seen this girl, especially them dudes you would go out to the military back in the day, or they'd take a trip down south and for the summer and come back. You know how much attraction was built? Like, damn, I ain't seen Pam for all summer. I can't wait to see those pretty brown eyes again. She's sitting there waiting for him, And then another big part, and this is the second part, like there was no social media back then. So the bars and and the little spots where you go to for everyone to socialize, that was social media. You had to go outside and go to a place everyone's at, and that's where you got the word. That's how you figured out what was going on. You show up to the streets. Hey, bro, you heard, I heard, what's your name got in a fight with, what's his name? Ooh. And then I seen one of them little bees or hornet or something, man, was trying to get into the door. We ain't going like that. You know what I mean? But anyways, so yeah, you go to the bar, you go to the block where everyone's at, and they say, "Hey, yo, I heard what's his name got in a fight with what's his name, dog? Oh, what happened? Yo, dude swung on him, and then I heard he knocked him out for real. Nah, that couldn't have happened. Yo, let's go holler at Jake. Yo, Jake, you heard what happened? Yeah, you know, were you there? Nah, but Frank was there, and he told me for real. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, he said boom, boom, boom. And then you go up, you see Frank. Hey, yo, Frank, you was there? Yeah, bro, I was there. Here's how it played out. You know what I'm saying? And then now you got the info. You using your imagination, you can picture the whole scenario. You know what I mean? Oh, bro, you heard what's her name broke up with her? Oh, bro, I'm hearing in the streets. Blah, blah, blah. All the games passed out in the streets. You know what I mean? You see a girl, you know, out there. Yo, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. Yo, what's her name? Yo, her name Vanessa. Yo, oh damn, she fine, bro. Like, you think she was good with her? Like, there wasn't no pictures for her to be on social media with 100 guys in her inbox. You know what I mean? It was probably 20 dudes on the block. You know what I mean? And they all was like, yo, they all was going smack. That was social media. It was her walking down the street, and 20 dudes that day said, damn, you look good. You know what I mean? I just came back from New York. So I'm imagining being in New York right now with all this going on. Just like New York dudes. And she see a block of 20 dudes and she goes, and then she's like, I like this one. That's the match. That's when she swipes right. It's that one guy. He came at her the right way that day. And she goes, all right, we can hang out. But you see, it was less fluff. It was less, you had to be outside. And that was the social media of the time. So everything was set up to keep attraction high naturally. Life already set up dynamics to keep attraction alive and to keep it strong. But the more that we get into social media, the more that attraction is starting to die because everyone's so overly available, everyone's so overly accessible. Even this is we're probably starting to get out of the streamer age, but I feel like we're in the streamer age, coming out of the streamer age probably by 2030 or before, probably by like 2028 or something. I don't know, maybe sooner because everything moves so fast. But with the streamer age, it's all about having the camera on you all the time. Like I seen something, it was like the streamer awards or something, and I was just like, man, I would hate to be a streamer. No disrespect. And I guess I am one technically because I got a YouTube, but this is I'm actually not a streamer at that capacity though, because they do live streaming. And I just think, and everybody's walking around with a camera and it's like, yeah, what are you doing? But and I'm just like, yo, this looks like the mate. Like this looks crazy, bro. Like that you gotta carry a camera with you everywhere you go to capture the moment. Everyone was so present back in the day, and keep in mind, I wasn't around in these times, but I've seen how it looked. And I did get some of the 90s, and I'm so blessed that I did. I got a lot of the 90s because the 90s was kind of like the last age, I feel like, where you kind of got to see what it was like before the iPhone came in and all the technology came in. And I could see how the game was just so much more, it could be a little more exciting back then. And it was naturally just funner for both parties and more attractive and sexy and mysterious. And I feel like so many people have their own individual experiences that no one will ever know because it was that type of time where you could have a random night with somebody that was incredible and nobody in the world would ever know. It was just between you two. And I think there's a beauty to that and the nuance to that's special. So I just say that to say, I understand why the guys and even the women struggle a lot right now, and tap into that old school style. Like, get off of the phone every now and then, get off of the streaming and go outside, talk to real people, approach a girl, go to the bar, go to a nice little spot for the summer or the fall, or, go out there and, or any time of the year really, but go out there and holler, you know what I'm saying, and talk and build a relationship and make a special night, because that's what it's all about. We're creating memories every day. On a spiritual level, every second that passes becomes a memory. So as you watch me right now, what I just said right now is a memory each time. Now this is a memory. So when every moment is becoming a memory, you start to realize that your present moment, a large part of that is creating great experiences so that you can have those powerful memories to take with you and amplify your future. So with that, I'm gonna stop. It's the one and only 5D Attraction. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to get on the Patreon. We got the 5D Base and Attraction course, the most powerful course in the game right now. That breaks down the whole blueprint from beginning to end to have powerful dating and relationship life, and to really understand the masculine and feminine energy on a much higher level, and how to base, because we go into basing, and that's, I go very spiritual and deep, and really lay out the mentality of basing. And this is something that I live. If you ever was out in the field with me, like I said, I've come at it. There's times where I'd be like, bro, what did I just do? I just literally booked every girl in this fucking place. And I'm like, I didn't even want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, dang, like I was looking trying to chill because I wasn't trying to do too much. But it's just easy. And then some nights you have chill nights, but you know the game. And you could just move at will. You know, the tongue becomes so sharp, you can pull whoever you want anywhere you go. So make sure to check out that course, because it's a beautiful course and the game needs it. I'm doing this for the culture. I'm doing this for the community. I'm not just doing this to make no fucking money, because the money is going to come. And the money already comes, and it already has come. So with that being said, I appreciate you all for listening. I'll see you all in the next video. It's the one and only 5D Attraction.